On tonight's show, we talk about this year's ecchi anime that's hiding something wholesome? Oh, and I drink a Sunny D. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Alcohol and Anime Night. My name is Scott, and tonight we are going to be talking about the 2025 ecchi comedy Kakushite, Makina-san, or Makina-san's a love bot. It is a ecchi romance comedy mecha anime, and it debuted just this year, 2025. There are 12-minute episodes, which means about 7 to 8 minutes of actual content. The show is made by Studio Bloom Z, who I have actually not heard of before. Before we get started, I'm going to check out this Sunny D Vodka Seltzer, which is an odd choice, being that Sunny D was definitely marketed towards kids, but I don't have any of the purple stuff, so I'm going to check this out. Now, unfortunately, it has 0 sugar, which means it's almost certainly going to taste like shit. Yeah, it's orangey. I will say that 0 sugar aftertaste isn't really as bad as some of the other things I've had out there. Not terrible. Not terrible. Again, I'm not a 0 calorie guy. They almost always taste terrible with like some kind of fake sugar, but this one's not terrible. And you know, if you don't have the purple stuff, this is going to be great for you. Anyway, give it a shot if you want to try something different. First and foremost, this is full send lewd. This goes hard. It doesn't give a shit. It just goes straight in. It knows exactly what it is. It's crazy nudity, crazy dirty jokes. It's both funny and sexy. It knows exactly who its audience is, and perhaps that's why the episodes are only a few minutes apiece. The entire premise is that our protagonist, Ita Akutsu, is a robot nerd, kind of someone who takes place in like those robot wars types things, and he builds small robots, so he knows a little bit about it. And he has a crush on Makina. Now, spoiler alert, if the title doesn't tell you, Makina is a robot. And at some point she shows up to his doorstep, damaged, and basically asks him to help because she knows that he is an expert at robots, as much as a high school kid could be. And from there, honestly, it just has a pretty simple plot. It's very funny. It introduces a couple of interesting characters. But the one thing that's not really that formulaic, in my personal opinion, is that the main character never takes advantage of her. And what I mean by that is that this essentially sex robot is just throwing herself at him, and he never really takes advantage of her ignorance. She doesn't know anything about sex. In fact, everything she knows about relationships or sex comes from her best friend, who is a yaoi enthusiast. So she is completely off on between men and women, which is a very funny dynamic, and it's a whole joke in and of itself. But he never uses her ignorance to his advantage. He always is helping her because he wants to help her. And there's even scenarios where she's like, well, you helped me, so now I have to do this for you. He's like, no, I did this because we're friends, because I wanted to do this for you, not because I expected anything in return. I really thought that was a really interesting, wholesome moment that they have many of within this very dirty, ecchi comedy. And it made me kind of think about a couple of things about how there is those just really good people, those really wholesome people out there that treat people right no matter where they fall in the spectrum of popularity. There's also several scenes in this show where he doesn't want to be seen with her because he's afraid it'll damage her reputation of being popular. And she even says, yeah, there's, without our relationship here with, between the robotics thing, I probably never would have, been friends with you because of our differences in essentially hotness. And it really made me question how many of us in our lives have actually missed out on really important relationships with other people because they don't really fall within our either hotness or income level or whatever. We kind of just segregate ourselves, and if you don't fit into this category that can somehow help us, then you don't belong with it. And it's a weirdly wholesome concept in what is definitely a super lewd kind of degenerate comedy. I really liked this show. I gotta be honest, it was short, it was easy to watch, it had a funny Evangelion reference, which I liked. The show was kind of maybe even a Chobits meets Megan, maybe even a Chobits for the modern era with more comedy. There is a ton of jokes about her falling apart, like her leg is always falling off, her head, and all sorts of stuff, so that's actually kind of interesting. It's a little weird because sometimes like she's like moaning and groaning and she's got her leg off, and so it's a little bizarre in that respect. Thank you very much for joining me on this one. There's a new feature if you're on mobile to push a hype button, and that allows very small creators like myself to get a little boost above the big boys. And if you found this interesting or funny, please hit that for me among all the other likes and subscribes and all the other things we ask you to do. It really does help the small creators like me. There's also some things coming up, and I'd love for you guys to comment on it. I have several unboxings that I need to get to. I have a big backlog over there. I have a model kit I want to build. I have the SH Figure Arts Power. I have Ryu. I have this Sega Luminasta Kaoru. I have a whole bunch to get to, so I promise you they're coming, but if you got one you really want to see, hit me in the comments and I'll add it to the votes to see what's out there. So thank you very much. A couple of other things. I'm going to be heading back out to SEMA this year in November, so if you know of any cool Itasha or anime-related cars that are going to be out there, shoot them in the comments. I'd love to go and check out those cars that are there. I'll also have my Itasha Porsche in the Uwu show coming up in October here in Arizona, so if you see my Rem Porsche out there, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't look too carefully. It's not that great. So until next time, Kanpai.